Hello, I'm Kevin Benedict, Senior Analyst for Digital Transformation with the Center for the Future Work here at Cognizant. I want to thank you for joining me today. This week, I'm releasing a brand new report. This report is called Cutting Through Chaos in the Age of Mobile Me. Hello, this is Kevin Benedict, Senior Analyst with the Center for the Future Work at Cognizant, and I have the pleasure of being here with Rich Mendis. Rich, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Kevin. It's been a while. Good to see you. I think the first time we're meeting in person, virtually. Yes. We've been many times speaking, but
absolutely. So we've done Google Hangouts and all kinds of this stuff. So Rich, you're with AnyPresence.
That's right. I'm the co-founder and chief product officer of AnyPresence.
That's right. So AnyPresence is showing up in a lot of different places.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me, if you would, and talk to all of us today here.
Yep.
How has the market changed in the last 24 months?
Yep.
So you guys have probably been in it and like, oh no, it's moving and people are saying no to this and yes to this. Yeah. So what's it look like? How's it changed, and where is it today, and then where do you see it going forward?
Sure. So great question, Kevin. So when we started prior to this concept of a mobile backend service or backend service. At the time, there was this acronym that Gartner had coined, MADP or MEAP, Mobile Application Development Platform. And so we were bucketed, for better or worse, in that category of mobile app development platform tools when we first started. As the term backend services took off a little bit more and people got more comfortable with the fact that, hey, why don't I use a platform to handle all the infrastructure, but I can still build a UI in whatever tool I want, and that tended to take off. I think that's become a little bit more mature. Analysts at companies like Forrester have done a good job, I think, now of saying, look, don't worry about the specifics of it. It's all mobile infrastructure services. So they've released a Forrester Wave that covers mobile infrastructure services. We're on that. But I think where we're headed, Kevin, is in general, there's some convergence happening between mobile, cloud, and APIs. Right? And the umbrella term that we're seeing being used now is digital transformation or digital business, right? So how do I take all of these different solutions that are available out there and piece them together, because no one does everything perfectly, into a solution that enables my business to go through digital transformation? So that's kind of where we're seeing. And IoT is a big part of that as well, right? So that's starting to influence the thinking.
Got it. So what have you guys had to do different starting 24 months ago when you had a vision?
Yep.
And what have you had to stop and kind of redirect and go? And then where do you see things today?
Sure. So in terms of AnyPresence specifically, one of the things is, like many of the MEAP and MBAS vendors, we provide what's called a prescribed solution, right? So you use a tool to define your application, and then we give you the runtime components of your application. As APIs have become more and more important in the conversation, people no longer need only a prescribed solution. They may need customized APIs in terms of what the signature looks like. This is getting a little in the weeds, but what it meant for us is we also had to invest in creating a loosely coupled component, we call it just APIs, where you can go and build as a developer very quickly a custom API that can then be used as part of a broader solution, which may or may not include MBAS, right? So we've had to make some technology investments in response to some of these things. That just APIs product can also run on IoT devices, so it's a very lightweight component. It's a binary executable that you can actually run on a Linux ARM device.
Wow.
So those are the investments, some examples of some of the investments we've started to make in response to this.
So where do you see things going forward from 2015 to 2016 to 2017? Where do you see it continuing to kind of migrate?
Sure. I think we'll see continued convergence, right? So between API management and what MBAS and MADPs or MEAPs are doing, and you're already going to see examples of that, or you're starting to see examples of that now, right? Coney, for example, is saying, oh, we're in the MBAS space now, and things like that, which you would have never thought of with all their UI investments. But you know, and it's all good for the customer, right? Because what's happening now is all the vendors are trying their best to create loosely coupled components that help at different layers of the stack. Ultimately, this is going to be great for enterprises because now they can pick and choose best-of-breed vendors in each layer of the stack. Maybe the best solution is, you know, for a particular customer, AnyPresence for some of the back-end infrastructure and Xamarin for the front-end development, for example, right? I think we're going to see more both bifurcation in terms of vendors breaking up their solutions into components, and convergence and acquisitions in terms of larger companies acquiring these different pieces to fill gaps in their platform.
Got it. Rich, I want to thank you so much for sharing your insight, your wisdom, and your experience.
Thanks, Kevin. Pleasure.
Thanks, Rich.
All right.
Rich Mendis, AnyPresence.